powers are weak, old man.
You can't win, Darth. If you strike me down, I shall become more powerful than you can possibly imagine.
You should not have come back.
Ben?
Exiles, Chronic Painless here to help spread the good news that Recombination is back on the menu. As you might have seen, there was a Reddit post recently announcing several breakthroughs in the science of recombination that were recently made by the Galaxy Brains over at the Prohibited Library Discord. So huge shout out to all of them, and a big thanks for all of their work compiling this data and cluing us in on the secrets of recombination. Their post had a lot to it, and I'm sure there's going to be plenty of videos breaking down all of the finer points. But for me, the most important thing was the power of the multi-mod. Can have up to 3 crafted modifiers is now the lifeblood of the recombination industry. And the reason for that is that we can no longer create items that have more than 1 crafted modifier on them. In Sentinel League, you could have an item that was literally 6 crafted mods. It did not matter. That was totally fine. But by trying to limit the possibilities of what you can do with Recombinators, GGG has unintentionally or not opened the door to some seriously borderline deterministic recombination. With the power of the multi-mod, I was able to make this wand right here, which is just about best in slot, minus some crazy synth wands that don't even exist yet as far as I know. And all I have to do is throw an enchant on here and I will be in business. This was quite inexpensive to make compared to what you might expect, and I even got quite unlucky when it came to the Veiled Orbs, as I missed the 2 out of 3 chance to remove either my multi-mod or prefix cannot be changed 3 times in a row before finally getting it on the 4th, and still this whole thing cost me less than 150 divines. On average, I would expect it to take far less than that, but of course, I can't make any promises about how the prices of things may or may not change, and that's an important caveat that I need to place on this entire video, that I am going to be demonstrating the highest success chance recombinations. I don't know if these are the most economically viable recombinations. It will depend on the price of the bases. It will depend on how easy even dust is to get. There's a lot of factors in play here, but what I'm going to showcase is just the safest way to go about doing the recombination in the fewest number of steps. So the first thing that I'm going to do is combine a wand that has the Fizz as extra cold prefix with the Hatred increased effect suffix. And thanks to the power of the multi-mod, this will have about a 90% chance of being successful, because what we're going to do is fill up the pool with crafted mods, and because only 1 crafted mod is allowed on the final item, that leaves plenty of room for our non-crafted mods to come through. And so what that will look like is we will start with the multi-mod. Then on this one, I will do a named suffix, right? You need a suffix that's like this one, the of the order. And then you need also a named prefix. The ones I've been using are the ones suggested in the original Reddit post, and that is the fire as extra chaos or attacks penetrate chaos resistance, right? Any of these are the its, and these are the chosens, right? So we can put now a chosen mod on here, right? And so this item is now a 4 mod item, 3 of which are crafted. So we are adding 2 crafted suffixes and 1 crafted prefix to the pool, along with our single non-crafted prefix. To complement that, we're going to add this item with 1 crafted suffix, which will of course be the multi-mod. And then we will craft 2 prefixes, on this one, making sure that we use the named prefixes. We'll get that. The attacks with this weapon penetrate, and the fire as extra chaos. And now, this weapon has 2 crafted prefixes, 1 crafted suffix, and 1 non-crafted suffix. So, what could happen when we put these 2 things together? Well, there is a 1% chance that it will choose to only put 1 prefix and 1 suffix, because there's a 10% chance with a 4 mod pool that you will only wind up with 1 mod on the final item. So if we do just happen to roll that 10% on the prefix and the 10% on the suffix, then we might have a bad time. But of course, there's only a 1% chance of that happening. What's much more likely to happen is that either the prefix or the suffix, or perhaps both, will try to get at least 2 mods on it. And when it does that, it will be forced to put a crafted mod on the item. And as soon as that crafted mod hits the item, all of the other mods are removed from the pool. However, they still count as having contributed to the total number of mods going into the pool, and therefore giving us the best possible chances of having a higher number of mods on the final item. So for example, if it chooses to put one of the crafted prefixes on the item, then it will be forced to have the second mod of the prefix be the Redeemer mod, and then the suffix will have no other options except for Hatred, and because there were 4 mods in the pool, we are guaranteed to see at least 1 mod, and Hatred will come along. The exact opposite may happen on the suffix, where if we see a crafted suffix mod coming through, then Hatred will come along with it, and the only mod that can show up on the prefix will be the Fizz as extra cold. So this final item, if it is rare, if we don't get the 1% chance, we'll have our 2 non-crafted mods and either a crafted prefix or a crafted suffix. So as we can see, we hit the crafted suffix, and we did not hit the 1% chance for both of these to only have 1 mod on them. And so because this had to have 2 mods, it had to have a crafted mod, but it couldn't have 2 crafted mods. And this, of course, had to have something, but it couldn't have a crafted mod either. And so this is how we wind up with exactly what we want, with literally a 99% chance of success. Now we're going to basically use the same trick again to combine an all spell skills with a physical spell skills wand. This will have a slightly lower chance of success since we are working with 2 mods that are on the same side of the item. These are both prefixes, of course, but we will still have an extremely high, about 86% chance of this working out according to the numbers provided by the Prohibited Library and Reddit. And this time, right, we're not going to add any crafted suffixes because we don't really care about the suffixes. We just have to multi-mod to get the 2 crafted prefixes. So we will go ahead and do that. Now, this is an example of the kind of thing that I don't necessarily know if it's worth spending this much to increase your odds here. I don't know how much these bases are going to cost. I just know that this is the safest way to do it if your bases do get very expensive. So what might happen when we put these 2 together? Well, there is a 50% chance that we will just win. And that comes from the 50% chance that the suffix will be a crafted modifier. Now, you might think that we are guaranteed to have a crafted suffix because we have a single mod and it's the same mod and it's on both items, and in prior recombination, that would have been a guaranteed keep. However, what we've seen according to the math provided by the Prohibited Library is that there's a 50-50 chance of seeing either a crafted prefix or a crafted suffix when you force the item's hand like this. You can get quote-unquote impossible recombinations where you could put in 2 prefixes or 2 suffixes and get out an item that has no prefix or an item that has no suffix. For example, if you combine an item that has a crafted prefix and an essence prefix with an item that has an essence suffix and a crafted suffix, you will only get a 1 mod item because they are exclusive. You cannot have 2 essence mods, you cannot have an essence mod and a crafted mod, you cannot have 2 crafted mods. And so even though you put 2 prefixes and 2 suffixes into the pool, you will get a 1 mod item with either a missing prefix or a missing suffix. So in this example here, we only do have a 50% chance of taking advantage of that suffix mod coming through. And if the suffix mod does come through, of course, we will be guaranteed to see our 2 non-crafted mods on the prefix because we are putting 6 prefixes in the pool, which guarantees at least 2 mods coming through to the final item, and hopefully 3 mods coming through to the final item, which is the other way we might win if we get the 50% chance for a crafted prefix to come through on that 72% chance that we roll a 3 prefix item. Then we are guaranteed also to see our 2 non-crafted prefixes because there is no other options. So assuming that we are getting 3 prefixes, one of them is going to be crafted and the other 2 aren't. And so we have a 50% chance from the suffix and half of a 72% chance from the prefixes. And put that together, we have an 86% chance of this working out for us. All right. And so as we can see, we hit that 72%, right? The perfect example of the crafted suffix not coming through. We put 2 suffixes into the pool, you might say, and yet we wound up with no suffixes because that's the way the new recombination works, where only 1 crafted mod is ever allowed. So now we are going to see if we can get a shortcut out of this one. I don't think it is going to be worth crafting a multi-mod and cannot roll caster. It might not even be worth trying for this in the first place. You might just want to start with Redeemer bases, but I figured, we'll have a little fun. Maybe we'll hit hatred here. All right, we did not, but that's okay, because now this is ready to be combined with this as soon as we clean it up just a little bit. So of course we will have to do prefixes cannot be changed. We don't want our prefixes to change. And then we will be scouring. And thankfully this kept its multi-mod, so that saves us a little currency. And now what we're going to do is the same exact thing we did before. We're just going to craft a whole bunch of mods in order to fill up our pool as much as possible and make it so that if we do get a crafted mod on the right side of the item, we have a very, very good chance of all of our non-crafted mods coming through on the other side. So the way that will look here is we will go ahead and put 2 crafted prefixes on this because we want all the crafted prefixes. That's going to be the hard part of this one, is going to be getting that 72% to get 3 mods when you put 6 in the pool. And so we will craft as before, the attacks penetrate and fire, doesn't matter which one. And this one will get the same treatment, except we will only have 1 prefix, and therefore we will go ahead and craft another random suffix. Or I shouldn't say random, I should say we'll craft a named suffix. And this is helping because now we are giving ourselves an even better chance, right, of needing to have 2 mods on the suffix, and therefore needing to have a crafted mod on the suffix, and therefore not having the prefix. Now we need our final prefix here. Okay. And this one is where it gets a little less likely to succeed. But as you saw, we had a very, very good chance of getting here. We had 99% on this one. We had 86% on this one. So the cost, right, was about 12 divines to get to this point, with, you know, maybe another 15% cost on top, assuming that, you know, you're going to miss sometimes if you do a bunch of them. And now, though, we only have a 36% chance of the big win. The way we get the big win is if we get that 50-50 chance to get a crafted suffix mod, and then we get the 72% chance for 3 prefixes. Because if we have a crafted suffix, we can't have a crafted prefix, and so the only 3 prefixes that are left are our 3 uncrafted prefixes. That is how recombination has gotten even easier than before. It used to be you would want to have doubled mods, right? You would, if you were trying to get 3 prefixes together, you would probably want to put, you know, 2 and 2 instead of 2 and 1 like this. However, now this is just as good of a chance as anything else, because what we're really gunning for is the guarantee that would come from having nothing but crafted mods in the pool aside from the mods that we want. And so this will have approximately a 36% chance of giving us exactly what we want. And the best part about this is that even the misses are very, very likely to stay pretty close to what we want. The hatred mod is virtually guaranteed to be there on the final item, right? It only has less than a 10% chance of going away, because it would have to be that we roll a single suffix. So we have to get the 50% chance to choose the crafted suffix, and it has to be the 10% chance for there to just be 1 suffix, right? So the hatred mod has a very, very good chance of sticking around. And we also have a very good chance of at least 2 of our prefixes sticking around. And that means we're going to be, at most, very likely just 1 prefix away from glory if we do have to do another round of this. The reason that we have such a good chance of keeping at least 2 prefixes, of course, is that in even the absolute worst case scenario would, of course, be choosing a crafted prefix and then choosing that 28% chance for only 2 prefixes. In that case, we would see just 1 prefix coming along with the 1 crafted prefix. At least then we would definitely get our hatred mod, because we wouldn't be able to see any of the crafted suffixes. But so the worst outcome is just 1 of the prefixes and the hatred mod. Right, so at worst, we wind up exactly where we were with this one, and we have a very good chance of at least getting to 3 mods and a 36% chance of getting to all 4. So let's see what we get here. All right. I didn't think it was going to necessarily go that well. This is take 1 of the video again. I don't even have enough money for take 2. I was just going to stop the video here if I didn't hit and say, maybe you'll get luckier. But now we can do the final part and hope to really get lucky and hit the 2 out of 3 to remove this hatred, to not remove this hatred. Now we're going to finish it with the classic prefix cannot be changed failed orb in order to hopefully get a nice suffix that we want. Okay, and I will block. Oh, I have to remove the crafted mods first. Then I will craft power charge to block, because this will remove all the other charges from the pool, giving me the best chance of hitting either crit multi or some kind of double damage. And that's pretty good. The focus is pretty good too. They're both pretty good. I think, you know, most people don't like to push buttons, even though I think double damage while focus is pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and take this, and there you go. It's just that easy. It's just that easy, right? We did a 99%, an 86%, and then a 36 and a 66%. So you're going to need a few tries at this. The first one took me more than a few tries. I got very unlucky on the veiled orbs on that one. So definitely getting paid back a little there. And what can I say? Combination. It's back. It's back. It is quite back. Wait. There we go. Brothers. These, so combined, these cost me about 200, and yeah, about 200 to make both of them. This one was about 150. This one, as we saw, was less than 50, maybe 35 or so. I got quite lucky, but not all that lucky when you think about it. You know, the luckiest I got was hitting a 36% chance, which will happen 1 to 3 times at least. So that's all I've got for this video. I'll be back with maybe some more recombinations, maybe some more other BV tech. Who knows? I'm excited. I'm feeling good. The recombination has been redeemed, and once again can help us make some truly incredible items for low prices.